Ох, і затримка.
Велика так.
Не.
Що пробуєш?
Все, прямо в ефірі.
Далі поближче на тому.
Подвинься сюди. Ти ж не влізаєш в кадр.
Не влізаю. Hello, hello. Do you hear us? Do you see us?
Yay.
Hey guys, can you just tell us if everything is all right with the stream? Because it's hard. Yeah, awesome. We can start. So basically, it's been quite a while since... Whispering. Loud and clear. It was just a comment. Yeah, so basically, it's been quite a while since we made any streams for obvious reasons, because we are from Ukraine, and on February 24th, the full-scale war started. Russia attacked Ukraine. And yeah, so it's been a roller coaster since then, and it's been 4 months, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we're slowly getting back to normal lives as much as we can do it. And that's why we wanted to give you an update about everything that's happening here with us, about our plans. Yeah, so whenever you have any questions, drop them and we'll do our best to reply to them. Right?
Yeah, and I think we should also start speaking on things on your agenda, because
we were supposed to release an album this year through Napalm Records, because we signed a deal last year. And because of the war, we had to postpone this record to the next year. I cannot give any other details yet, because you will hear it all from the label. But yeah, basically, that is... What are you doing?
Moving things.
Moving things, okay. So yeah, what can I tell something about the album? Not to make any spoilers, but still.
Yeah, I mean, not mentioning the war, we actually will use this spare time, hopefully, to shoot some music videos, because those require lots of input and thoughts to go with them. But
yeah, we couldn't even try to film anything in spring, because in the first month, Kiev, the city that we're staying at, well, the Kiev region was occupied, and during the first months we couldn't even think about, our career, about our music and shooting videos or anything. We couldn't even listen to music, and we couldn't even think if we survive or anything like this. And a lot of course, like, the studios were closed and everything, so it was like even impossible to think about it. And now Kiev is slowly getting back to life, although 2 days ago a missile hit a multi-storied building and crashed quite a few apartments, and yeah, it's still super complicated to plan anything, because at any moment, we can be killed, because the war is still going on, and a lot of territories in Ukraine are still occupied, and horrible things are happening there.
And we, regarding the music videos, we really need more time nowadays to shoot them, because lots of people who are related to making music videos, like people who make costumes, people who do makeup, and and whatnot, they just moved out from Ukraine, and you either have to wait for them to come back or just find new people. Because, for example, like there's a major costume studio thing in Kiev, guys who make costumes for music videos for lots of artists. They are located in the same building as we are, but they're not in Ukraine at all, and they simply don't work. So if you want to make if you need to have new costumes for a music video, that particular studio is not an option. And for example, if you wanted to work with them, or if you had that in plans, you have to find new people, you have to find new ideas, and that also takes time. And that applies to everything, not only to costumes.
But actually, if you take like people with whom we were working, like most of them, they haven't left Ukraine, but they are either volunteering, or they are on the front line, or they are in the cities that are not that safe, and they're trying to help people around. And yeah, it's not the time, to shoot videos and do stuff. So yeah, it was one of the reasons why we postponed the album, because a lot of things have to be made, to release a full-length piece. We actually managed to record this album, but there is still a lot of work to do. But we decided to take this time again to prepare everything, to finish the artwork. And also, like, for quite a while, we couldn't even think about doing any shows. Because, first of all, like, the war is still going on. There is, like, general mobilization in Ukraine. So guys, men, from 18 to 60, they cannot leave the country because, like, they can be mobilized to fight. But because artists are people who can spread great awareness about the situation, like our Ministry of Culture started making like certain approvals for artists to leave the country for, to do a couple of shows, to join like some protests, to join some lectures or whatever, like any events that can, help spread awareness about the war and also raise funds. Like they give like this permission to leave the country for several days and then come back. And that is why we actually managed to, we're planning like some shows abroad, and 2 of them are already confirmed. These are the Pannonian Rock Festival in Croatia and Metal on the Hill Festival in Graz, Austria. They are both in August. So if you are living somewhere near these places, it would be great to see you at the festivals. The lineups are really cool. And we're also like slowly planning some kind of a tour, probably for September, but it's still in the making, and we just hope that we can do it, and we hope that we can survive until August and until September, because again, like perhaps you've seen like the video of missile hitting a shopping mall with more than 1,000 of people, and it was in the middle of the day. People were just shopping in Kremenchuk, one of Ukrainian cities located in the center of Ukraine. A lot of people died, and a lot of people were wounded, and it's just every day you don't know what's going to happen. So we can just plan, and we hope that it's going to happen. But would be great if you follow, if you join the newsletter on our website, ignea.band, because like we send out news within this newsletter now and then when really important news are happening. So subscribe. Maybe we'll get to the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I scrolled up.
You scrolled up. Quick question regarding the song Alga. Was the song written because of the ongoing crisis in the Crimea, or is it just coincidence that the lyrics are fitting the situation?
Actually, yes. It's all about the war that started in Crimea like 8 years ago. So yeah, it is directly about that, I would say.
Yeah, but
I mean, it is influenced by that directly. It's not about this war, but yeah.
yeah, but you just have to. I mean, a lot of people are still discovering our band through this song, and some people even think that this is some kind of a new song because it's the first song that they heard. But it was released in 2015.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it's
no one.
not a new song for us. It was actually the first video uploaded on this YouTube channel.
Really?
Really?
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm. There is a question if we plan any shows in Germany. We really hope so, and we're working on that. But follow the tour dates. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing in stone just yet.
Yeah. Hello from Lviv. Hello. We actually even during the full-scale war, we managed to play 2 shows in Ukraine, in Lviv and Chernobyl. Those were charity shows, and we raised funds for the needs of Ukrainian warriors. And yeah, those shows were in bomb shelters, just in case there is an air raid threat, and not for the show not to be stopped. So we even managed to do that.
Yeah. Mr. Turbofast writes, I will probably be in Austria, although I have to go like 5 hours by train. Oh, yeah. Sounds horrific, but our story probably sounds more horrific.
Yeah.
Because we will, since the sky is closed for passenger planes in Ukraine, we will have to take a 12-hour night train to Lviv, then transfer to a van and drive all the way from Lviv to
Croatia first. Yeah.
Through Polish border, which is always a long story. Like probably up to 8 hours waiting at the border, and then going south from there all the way down to Croatia, which has out of 8 or 900 kilometers has only 200 kilometers of actual highway. The other roads are small winding roads through the mountains in Slovakia, in Poland, in Hungary. So that is gonna take us like a couple of days.
Yeah, but we really appreciate that you take the time to come.
Sure.
I mean, it's really cool. And if you take the lineup in Austria, especially on our day, I would love to. I just hope that we probably won't be having a show next day, because I would love to see the entire lineup.
Yeah, the festival is really great.
It's like Feuerschwanz, Lacuna Coil, Karpiklani, Batyushka. So it's a very cool festival.
People not going to understand Batyushka because everyone remembers Batushka. It's Batyushka.
There is a question in Ukrainian. Будете в цьому році на фестивалі «Файне місто»? На жаль, цей фестиваль перенесено на наступний рік, тому точніше його перенесено на невизначений термін, тому ми не знаємо.
Фестивалю не буде.
Це наш найулюбленіший фестиваль, тому ми, звісно, дуже чекали на це.
Окей, let's go deeper.
Доброго вечора, ми в Празі. Привіт.
Yeah.
До речі, можливо, ми теж будемо в Празі.
Yeah,
у вересні.
Probably in September we are also gonna play in at least Prague.
Yeah, in Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, probably Slovakia,
very
maybe
likely.
Hungary,
Poland,
maybe even some other countries.
But again, as soon as we have any confirmed dates, we will post them in our social media. And you can also join our Patreon, because patrons are the first people who find out about everything, sometimes even faster than the rest of band members. Don't tell them this, please. Yeah, and of course, join our newsletter.
it was horrible hearing the news about the shopping center and seeing the images of a girl found on the rubble of her house. That's in Charkiv. How do you cope with the news like that? We actually don't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that that could be lived through by a normal human being without any effect on them. So
You just have to understand that this is just one of the stories that has happened over the past 4 months. And sometimes there is a day here in Kiev, for example, when nothing like that serious happens. But at the same time, we all understand that, for example, in Kharkiv, that is really not that far away from Kiev, the shelling happens every day, and the buildings are being destroyed, and people are being killed. And it's like, you know, it's impossible to live in constant fear and sadness, and I don't know, it's impossible. Again, we cannot do it all the time because we are also, we're also fighting in this war, if not with guns, but since the first days we've been posting daily updates about the situation in Ukraine. Like every evening, Evgeny takes some time to write news in a publicly available post. I think that we will save this stream and we will post the link to this post under the video. We've been raising funds for the Ukrainian army, for the volunteers, for the victims of war since the first day. And we would like to thank all our patrons who have been supporting us and the country, because quite a big amount of the patron pledges goes to these donations, and also to all people who support us by buying merch. We've been actually sending merch since the 20th of March, and it's being delivered. Like it really works. It just takes maybe plus 1 week to certain countries. So like if you have a chance, we really have some cool new merch items, and part of the merch sales goes to, again, support the Ukrainian army, the volunteers, and people who suffered from war. And again, like getting back to the question of how we cope with it, we just, we have to pull ourselves together. And of course, like even our soldiers, our army, they always say, like, we will mourn all the people when it's over, because it's not over. And if we just sit and cry, like, and do nothing, like, it won't help. But just we really, I think that unlike Russia, we really cherish like the life of every Ukrainian. And of course, like these news, they're horrifying to us all. And they also remind us that even if in Kiev we can go and drink some coffee now, or even a cocktail, or go to a party, like every day, like we don't take it for granted. We remember that the war is still happening, and every day we just try to do at least something to get our country closer to the victory. Because even when we're drinking coffee or buying something from small businesses in Ukraine, it also supports the economy. And based on the numbers that I've read recently, to get the ammunition for one soldier, there has to be like 15 Ukrainians working, paying their taxes, supporting the economy. So this is what we're also doing here.
What is it? Do you write songs about this war situation you experience? Actually, no. I don't think that writing things about writing music about things happening right now with you is a really great idea, because you're overloaded with emotions, and as a human being can overreact to something like emotionally, you could overreact to that musically and make I don't know, inconsistent, well, let's say bad music that you would like at the moment, but then just hate with the whole of your soul. But yeah, there is a small idea in my head of making something dedicated to the ghost of Kiev, of course. I'm actually surprised that there's only one song dedicated to him right now so far, and not every Ukrainian metal band has released a song called
Not
that. But
yet.
yeah, not yet. But like having this idea for longer in my head allows me to build up more ideas and make it more interesting in the end. So yeah, I think that is coming up sooner or later, but not like immediately after I had that emotion that made me work on this music.
I actually think that, when it comes to, well, Evgeny mostly writes music, I mostly write lyrics. And for example, just sitting at home, it doesn't really help you to write, to come up with ideas or anything, because I am a person who gets really inspired by traveling, and that's why after several years stuck at home within the pandemic, sitting again in the middle of the war, it really doesn't help, writing more. And I put a lot of effort into writing lyrics for the new album, and I've been working on it over the past years. So to some extent, I'm a bit exhausted, lyric writing wise. But I really hope that if we hop on this tour, or at least several shows, with all the long roads that we're going to have, I hope that I will come up with something, it can be war related, it can be something else, because, um, the muse strikes, you never know how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
I think you should try to arrange a possible show in Latin America. Do you think it may be possible in future? It's very hard to plan anything right now, because we don't even know when the war is going to end. And of course, it's easier for us to reach countries in the European Union because it's at least closer to us, and it's easier to plan it a little bit. Anything that contains flying overseas is really super hard to plan at this point. So I think we just need to take it step by step and first handle, August and September, survive, play these shows, and then see how it's going to, evolve further. Because again, we don't know. Maybe at some point, like the guys won't be allowed outside the country at all. So how can we plan it? But of course, we would love to come and play for you.
I think if not for the war, and we have released this upcoming album this year, I think that next year, or maybe in 2024, we would definitely already have a South American tour, because that perfectly makes sense.
Yeah. So just please keep up with us and follow our news, because at some point, hopefully, and please spread a word about our music in Latin
Tell
America
your friends about us. Yeah, right. Okay, do you still keep in touch with any Russian bands? What is their feeling about the horror is going on? Keep safe greetings from Portugal.
Love you guys since Vagush Metal Fest. We love this festival. It was like one of the best festivals in my life.
Indeed, yeah.
We would love to come back.
To be honest, we didn't actually we haven't been friends with any of Russian bands, because that is not something of our sphere of interest. We were almost always oriented for West, and the latest powerful contact with Russia from our side was probably in 2013, before even war started, like in Donbass, in eastern Ukraine, when we thought of going for a tour in Russia, and we even started booking that tour. But in that spring when everything happened, we just canceled that, and that's it. And we honestly were friends with any of the bands. I don't know why, honestly, because before that would be absolutely okay, but that is just how that happened. So yeah, so there is no one's feelings of Russian bands for us to share, like uh, except for probably one or two bands who were whining in the comments and making themselves victims of the war, but it's classical Russian manipulation and should not be mentioned, I guess.
How are your friends in Mercedes? I would love to see you both together. They're actually all right, although like they are from
Almost.
Odessa, a Ukrainian city on the Black Sea, and over the past week, this city has been really shelled heavily. I mean, of course, the air defense systems are working, but not always, and they really get a lot of missiles flying their
Yeah,
way. So
for the last couple of weeks, they have air raid sirens probably like 10 times a day.
yeah,
Whereas
so
we didn't have any for yesterday and today, which
yeah,
is
but
actually haunting and scary.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're all right, and they're actually, two people, and one of them is in Moldova since she just went there to see the relatives even before the full-scale war, so she's still there, and another person, another band member, is staying in Odessa. We're in touch every day, so thanks for asking.
Uh, I'm trying to scroll, but it's so quirky. Yeah. Greetings from UK. How are you finding your new keyboard guitar hybrid? That's kind of a
A
surprise.
spoiler.
Yeah, that's a spoiler. So I think we won't answer that. That is for the next year, probably. But who follows us closely, they will know, of course, what
Our patrons will
what
know first.
yeah
From the vlogs
what
and from
Alan is
everything.
talking
Yeah.
about. So yeah. Hey, some chances to do your incense sticks again.
I don't think so. I
Oh.
think that it was so hard to make them. Actually, it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, I saw that. That is actually quite a
It
thing, to
was
be honest.
it was a complicated process to make at home, and also it was related to the previous album, so it's not relevant anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, those photos makes even this 50-year-old veteran on the other side of Europe cry. Indeed, I mean, yeah.
Доброго вечора, обожнюю вашу музику, рада, що в нас є такі артисти. Дуже дякую.
Русские водки нет, иди домой. That's true.
What does varvar mean?
Varvar.
Yeah, it's
that
actually
varvar.
a box.
From 2 bottles of beer.
Yeah, from 2 bottles of the local Ukrainian crafts beer. Again, we're talking about supporting the local.
It doesn't focus.
Yeah. Supporting the local small businesses. They make really great crafts beer. So when the war is over and you're in Kiev, make sure to visit. They have several actually pubs.
Yeah, but the main one is not that far away from us.
Yeah, so you
Varvar, Underwood. We have a lot of them actually.
Yeah,
20
and actually,
85.
I noticed that this Varvar pub is really popular among foreigners.
Oh yeah,
who come
that's not
because they really
actually.
have great craft beer on tap as well, and also they have like this equipment to get the beer canned like right in front of you, so you can take it.
That is like a new thing in the beer scene in the world in general, and they have it in Ukraine. So you can just walk straight up to a bar, like order a draft pint in a can, and they will like cork it right inside of the pub, and you can drink it at home, super fresh and
We really
draft
have
quality.
we really have a lot of great places in Kiev, and like for me personally, this full-scale war, it's really reinvented Kiev for me. Even though I was born here, I've lived most of my life here, but I realized that I love this city so much, and even though I wanted to move, probably somewhere to the north of Europe for some time, I don't want it anymore. Although it's really not safe here, but the city is really great, and it would be really cool if you visit us.
And drop us a message because we can make
you a tour.
Yeah.
And we also actually, even during the war, we several years ago, we were trying to find a place for us to make some kind of an headquarters for our band, to rehearse, to write music, to store merch and everything, and we couldn't find the place that would suit our needs and would be affordable and everything. And in April, it just popped out of nowhere, and we rented it out. And yeah, so if you come to Kiev, we now have like some kind of a place to show our place for rehearsals and everything. So let's all hope that the war is going to be over.
Will there ever be a North American tour? Texas would love to see you guys.
We would love to see Texas and you guys, really, because we know we have quite a lot of listeners from there, and I cannot even count how many times we shipped merch to Texas.
To San Antonio. For some reason. That's the biggest spot in the US.
Like, again, we had plans, or at least, preparations to plans to come to the US at some point.
Because it's a big thing coming from Europe, especially Western Europe.
Yeah, and it's a very expensive thing. Coming for the first time and getting all these preparations, all the equipment, flying overseas when you have like 5 band members, it's like a huge thing for a European band, especially a band from Ukraine. Because again, like the wages are lower here. It's an absolutely different, how do you call it, level of life, something like this. But in any case, COVID postponed it for several years. What are you doing?
I'm moving things.
Don't do this.
I'm moving things.
COVID postponed it, and now we've got the war. And as far as we know, COVID still exists, so flying overseas and spending all these costs and efforts and getting COVID, and canceling shows, it would be awful. So again, one of our biggest dreams is to come to the US, and Texas is and like
Canada.
And Canada, and Texas, of course, is like one of the top places for us to visit, just because we know we've got people listening to us there. But I guess that it's going to happen when the war is over.
What is it? Yeah. Stevie told me to record another song, growling again like Leviathan, please. Yeah, he did. But yeah, that is. I don't think that is going to happen because I'm a shy guy, at least on stage. And that is having another thing to sound check, another thing to sound bad, another thing to go wrong on stage.
People are asking you to record it, not to sing it live.
I mean, if you record something, you have to perform it on stage at some point. So yeah.
I think that it's like with us choosing the language for the song. So for example, like most of our songs are in English. We've got 1.5 songs in Ukrainian released so far. We're going to have some Ukrainian songs on the new album. And whenever we're doing the songs, like we just know that they would sound great, in Ukrainian. So I guess that if we have a song that we hear the Yevgeny's growls on, we'll just do it. We won't do it just for the purpose of doing it. if we write some kind of a song about a Ukrainian beast,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, probably something like that. Is there any band you would like to collaborate with? I never actually
I
thought
think
about that ever.
I think that we already talked like with our friends from the band Elaine, Swedish band. We just feel that we have a great connection with each other, although we met just once. And I think that again, when we have a chance and when we feel that the song is right or something like that, I'm sure that at some point we will come up with some kind of
Yeah,
collaboration.
and I have a small like glimpse of an idea of a song concept thing that would, for my opinion, work great with the band called Forever Still from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we have some ideas, but again, like when the war is happening in your country, it's just all gets postponed. Like every day, like everything that we do, even like with the upcoming shows, like our main intention is to come raise awareness that the war is still happening, because we see that like it's Ukraine is slowly disappearing from the news, from the headlines. And every day, like because war costs a lot of money, and we really need to raise more funds to help in this war. And this is like what we're focusing on right now. So when we've got the peaceful sky above our heads, I'm sure we will get back to all the collaborations.
I see Ersado guys in the comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't spoil them. I don't see. Are you planning some tours in Poland? Yes.
Actually, Poland is like the most likely country we're going to play at. Finally, because like we played in Poland only once, which is strange because like we're neighbors, and we would like to again take this opportunity to express huge gratitude to all people from Poland, because like you've been our biggest supporters. Like, I mean, your people have been supporting Ukrainians from the very first days, and we've never seen such, you're like our brothers and sisters. So thank you so much, and we would love to play in Poland for you to, to give you some entertainment and great time.
Yeah. Хочеться ще пісень української від вас.
Будуть. Вони вже записані, тому ми просто чекаємо, коли буде час, коли війна закінчиться, і ми зможемо випускати.
We will have new songs in Ukrainian. So yeah, and they sound sick.
Does Varvar mail outside of Ukraine now? I think that no, because again,
you can't mail any alcohol through the customs borders. So that is a pity, because, for example, we have a couple of friends who make craft beers, and if we would be able to send them abroad, we would have merged beer already.
Yeah,
but
so
that doesn't make sense.
That is actually one of the reasons why we would love to have like this free customs zone with at least European Union, so that we could, at least ship great Ukrainian alcohol throughout Europe, because we don't only have like craft beer, we also have like these liquors, right?
Well, yeah, I call them tinctures, but that is more of a medical, like liquors.
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a lot of small businesses that do really great traditional alcohol also.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
We also have family-run wineries that are actually quite good.
Yes, it's a pity that some of them have been destroyed by Russians, because again, grapes love, sunshine, and they are mostly in the south, and the situation in the east and in the south of Ukraine is horrifying, and Russians are destroying everything that they're seeing. So yeah,
we don't know. Two of our favorite wineries are occupied right now.
Yes. And I mean, they don't only, take the bottles of wine or like the wine that is already made, they are also destroying the grapes because they want to bring famine, to the territories.
Yeah, and of course they stole all the equipment from there. So I think those wineries do not exist anymore. Hey, I just joined. Did you mention any other concert festival gigs other than the Austrian one?
We also have another one in Croatia right before Austria, and the rest of the dates are in the making, and I hope that we will announce them within several weeks. But we will most likely have some festival appearances in August and some club shows in September. But we can't tell anything for certain yet.
Yeah. Чи плануєте повномасштабний концерт у Львові в майбутньому?
Я би дуже хотіла. Я сподіваюся, що це буде, тому що от ми вперше виступали у Львові, і нам дуже сподобалося. І розказуйте своїм друзям про нас, будь ласка. Тому що
і це,
всі
дуже...
також
не тільки від нас залежить, а ще від бажання вашої публіки і ваших промоутерів.
Тому що просто дуже багато людей зараз дивуються, що ми з України, і іноді там кажуть, що от ми вас почули на Spotify і здивувалися через місяць, дізнавшись, що ми з України. Ну, будь ласка, ставте їм, можете їм поставити от нашу...
А треба менше пити на Захід-фесті було.
Можете поставити їм нашу нову пісню Magure's Last Kiss. Відео можете знайти на нашому YouTube-каналі.
Там точно зрозуміло, що ми з України. Right, I miss your updates of the war. The updates are still there. I stopped posting them on Facebook because of the shadow ban they gave me.
Yeah.
But I still write them, and they're posted every day on Patreon on the open posts.
Yeah, so you don't have to become a patron to access this post.
You don't even have to register.
Yeah. So and again, it's just like an article that is daily updated. So you just go there through the same link and you get an update. And when this stream is over, it's going to be recorded and saved. And I will post a link to these daily updates under the video, in the comments and in the description to this video.
Yeah. Have we ever visited the Chernobyl zone? Could be nice for video recording. No, we both never were to Chernobyl zone.
And really...
I think that wouldn't be possible for at least a couple of years because heavy machinery of Russian military have damaged the topsoil, uncontaminated new soil, and there's a lot of dust, of radioactive dust out there. So I think the exclusion zone is closed for a couple of years at least, regardless if the war ends right now or in a couple of months.
I actually feel very sad that I've never visited Chernobyl. I always wanted to, but you always think that okay, it's going to be out there and you will take some time. Then HBO released like this Chernobyl movie, and the problem is like we had so many tourists going to that zone that we didn't really want to visit it, just to be among these hundreds of tourists.
Yeah.
Because I mean it's the zone that should be like, it should have the feeling of an abandoned place, not the touristic attraction. And now, yes, it's really not safe going there, and it's closed. And I think that even when the war is over, it's going to be... It really... Russians destroyed quite a lot of things there, including a laboratory, right?
Yeah,
and they took a lot of equipment. So this area, it needs to be restored in all senses. So when it is, we will, of course... visit this place, and also, even though we were staying in Ukraine for such a long time, and even though we visited a lot of places in our country throughout our 30 years of life, but still there are so many places to visit yet, and when the war is over, I would love to, go there.
I have a ton of them in my list, but
yes,
lots of them still are occupied.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, I actually never wanted to go to Chernobyl like itself, but I'd rather see a couple of different things, like the nuclear train from Slavodich to Chernobyl,
Because he
which
likes trains.
which is primarily was for transporting people who work at this station from their town of Slavodich, but I think it will never run again because the rail line goes through Belarus. Yeah, and the other thing is the giant, huge antenna in the woods, which is 100 meters up, almost a kilometer wide, and it was designed to see over the horizon and to detect nuclear missiles from the United States. So it's like a huge aluminum skyscraper amidst woods, with nothing around it. Okay, the next thing is whoa, it's Uzi. Are you going to be at the Polish Rock Festival? That is
No.
That is probably about Poland rock.
Yes, we will be at another festival in Poland, but
probably
if it happens.
If it happens,
stay tuned.
Yeah, but that would be definitely in Poland.
Yeah.
Please say orbit culture. Orbit culture. Yeah. Say it. People ask you to say it.
I just don't understand why we should say it.
I don't know, it's a name of a band. I know it. Плануєте колись переспівати свої пісні українською?
Я не думаю, тому що, як ми вже пояснювали, ми коли пишемо пісні, ми просто відчуваємо, якою мовою вони мають бути, тому це не має сенсу. Але чекайте на новий альбом, там будуть українські пісні.
Do you think it would be appropriate to bring a Ukrainian flag to the medal on the hill?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, we would love to see it. We will also bring one. So it's going to be a match. Please bring it.
Is there a guideline regarding those statements? No.
We actually, we saw a lot of videos from the festivals that already happened, and we really saw that at least one Ukrainian flag is out there. So there won't be any problems with that, so please bring one.
British steel. Yes. It's actually good.
Давно вподобав ваш гурт, є в плейлісті, слухав, будучи в Ірпені на самому початку в окопах. Чекаємо нових треків. Дуже дякуємо. Раді, що ви живі. Ми були в цей час під Києвом з іншого боку.
Але ми вас чули. Do you have a licorice-flavored vodka drink? We don't, because we don't have licorice here in Ukraine.
We have other things. We like the most. I think that the most popular, traditional thing is honey flavored. We have quite a lot of. It's called medovucha, and
it's basically it's made. It's called med,
and it's interesting that it can have a different grados.
Percentage of alcohol.
Yeah.
Proof.
So it can be from 6% up to.
I think the most. I think the most popular
is 40.
Is 17.5. So that is 20. Right. Oh, it's 35 proof. Yeah, it's 35 proof for the Americans. Please leave politics out of this. No. Our lives depend on politics, and this is not a music channel. This is a channel of people who play music. And
you just have to understand that when missiles and fight jets are flying over your heads, you cannot leave the politics out of your life. That's it.
I'm going to be a president of Ukraine. You will see that. But that would be that would be quite hard because I will have to take time off at IGNA. or vice
so
versa.
he won't speak.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe in the next live. Yay.
Ви чудові, сподіваюся, ви колись приїдете до Швеції. Обов'язково. Швеція одна з моїх найулюбленіших країн, і я дуже сподіваюся на це.
What could you say about your bass player? Splendid bass player. He just got fired yesterday. That is what we can say about him. Yeah. Actually,
but
it's
he's
like,
a sweetie.
Yeah, he's a sweetie. He's a sweet guy. Boom, 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 boom. Speaking of your music, will there be any collaboration with Ginger? No, like you did with Ersedo. No,
Not
because
likely.
we are on different leagues, so to say. That's one thing. They are quite outside of Ukrainian scene right now. That's the second reason.
No, like never say never, but it's just I don't see it coming.
There is no point because
there is no point, and there are really we need to do collabs with guys that we are already thinking about, you know, and it's pointless to make a collaboration just for the sake of making collaboration, and we also don't look for collabs, you know, to become more famous. It's more about like the synergy between two bands.
Yeah, and if some bands have something in common apart from girls singing, that could be amplified. Yeah, I mean, like the idea of having that collaboration with the Forever Still, it's around one certain thing that is not being like a girly metal band or something like that. It's something interesting that we could get out of that.
Yeah, it's a concept.
Yeah, and that comes the same for Elaine, for example. Yeah.
Scroll down, I think that he moved down.
Yeah, it's moving like very strangely like that, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys married? You can say so, but no.
No.
We've been together for 11 years so far, so it's like being married, really.
My gosh. That's, yeah.
What do you think about people in Poland and their help for Ukrainian brothers? I would like to emphasize that it is the citizens of Poland who are helping, not the government. We already talked about it, I guess 15 minutes ago or something like this. We are really super grateful to all people of Poland, but also including your governments, because if you compare the leaders of different countries, Andrzej Duda, am I taking it?
Andrzej Duda. Yeah.
Andrzej Duda, he's like a rock star among politicians for our country in this situation.
Yeah, I understand why you don't like your politicians. We don't like them as well, but for us, they mean a great deal. And I'm really surprised with Poland and all the Polish people, because history shows that Ukraine always, lots of countries always wanted to conquer Ukraine for like 600 years or something. And Poland, being a progressive and now a world level state, just forgot about that, and we Ukraine and Poland left everything behind, and we can be friends and partners and whatnot. And some other countries you may see on the other side of Ukraine from Poland, they are still live in feudal Middle Ages, and so I think Poland and Polish people are among the examples of how things should be done in 2022. Not only with Ukraine, but lots of things.
We also hope that at some points, like, Ukrainians can pay back for everything that you did, guys, that you are still doing.
Yeah. I'm ready to come to Poland to collect truskawki.
Really?
No. Okay.
Yeah, I will finally, like, I already decided that I'm going to finally learn some basic Polish, because whenever...
Oh, kurwa!
Because whenever I come to Poland, it feels really strange for me to speak English because Polish and Ukrainian are very much alike. But when somebody asks me, well, I understand Polish, but when
Co, naprawdę?
like asks me something in Polish, I'm like, I don't know what to reply. You know, I cannot. I don't want to talk Ukrainian. I don't want to talk English. So I just need to learn basic Polish. I will do it.
Yeah, okay. That's easy. I had half a year of Polish in school, and that was enough to make a scandal about my side dish in Taurus in Poland. So yeah, they forgot about my ziemniaki. Do you intend to come to South America in the future? Yes. In the future, and when that makes sense. So after the new album or something like that. Yeah. What's your opinion about Stefania from Kalash Orchestra? Actually, it's quite a catchy song.
I like, we had a national selection of songs for Eurovision, and back then I was like voting for another song. And at first I didn't really get like this Stefania, but I think that, within the context of Eurovision, it's really a catchy song. And I don't know. I think that it's great that they represented Ukraine this year, and I don't know. I'm just proud that they won, and we actually, even though we're metal bands, we watched Eurovision like right after our show in Chernobyl when we raised money.
Yeah.
So we went off stage. We had like our curfew because all over Ukraine you cannot walk in the middle of the night because you are going to have problems, maybe even shots. So yeah, we went back to the hotel and we were watching Eurovision.
Yeah.
And we are not afraid to speak about it, even though we are a metal band.
What does the word gene slammer mean? It actually means exactly that, the guy who slams jeans, which is a genie in American English, I believe. Genie. Yeah. Did you create that word yourself? That was the name for
Song.
Demo project that just grew on it so hard that Hell had to twist the concept a little bit to leave the name of the song like that. Yeah, because it sounds so good.
It's catchy, you remember it.
Yeah.
And for some time, like within our Patreon community, Yevgeny was called Gin Slammer, and then Bosch Slammer, and then whatever Slammer, like he is the Slammer.
Yeah. I'm a Slammer.
Really, it would be really nice if you check out our Patreon. You can Google it, you can find it on our website. It's really a community of awesome people. We also have Discord where we hang out, and we have some Zoom hangouts now and then. And I've been running this Patreon for more than 3 years. It's going to be 4 years in December. And it's like if you join it even for 1 month, you will have 3 years of content to binge watch and binge listen to. So check it out.
Yeah.
And it's also going to have to help Ukraine because a huge part of Patreon pledges goes to support Ukraine.
What's your favorite Ignace on Pusin?
The ones that haven't been released yet.
Oh yeah,
it's always my answer.
Always this answer. Yeah.
Like the only time when this answer is different is when we've just released a new record.
Yeah. What do you call a shoplifter in Polish? Skleptoman. That would be probably with iak without iak. Skleptoman. That sounds good for like a fusion jazz grindcore band from Poland. That's a sick. That's.
Oh, what's happening?
That's all.
That's all.
That's
Woo!
all.
Wait,
probably or not. No, I don't think that it updates.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So what else I wanted to say? I don't know.
Gem for victory.
Jam for Victory. Yeah, so...
they started to load.
Yeah, so actually, if you go to our Facebook page or Instagram page, one of the latest posts that you will see there is a small part where you will see Yevgeny playing the guitar, not the keyboards, with our friend Igor from Stone Jesus, another Ukrainian band, great Ukrainian band, and Mykola from aka Ghost Cities, who is playing saxophone and synthesizer. And all this is called Jam for Victory, and it's like a 45-minute jam that the guys were doing, and I was filming them, and it was all recorded. It's available on Bandcamp, and all the proceeds from this jam are going to go to the trusted local Ukrainian charity.
Yeah.
Check it out. You can also just Google Jam for Victory Bandcamp. That's it. It's not related to Ignia, it's just really 45 minutes of cool music. What?
Чи є ймовірність того, що після закінчення війни ми влаштуємо який-небудь тур по Україні?
Було би класно,
Було
нарешті.
би класно, але проблема є в тому, що в Україні нас ніхто майже не знає.
Тому, будь ласка, поки ми тут, як це кажуть, щодня донатимо на ЗСУ, розказуємо всьому світу про Україну, про війну в Україні. Будь ласка, розкажіть двом своїм друзям про нас. Було б дуже класно.
Коли в нас був сольник у Києву, ми хотіли зробити міні-турчик Україною. І я писав промоутерам в Одесу, в Харків, ще в інші міста. І вони просто питали, хто ви.
Так,
тому я думаю, що в Луцьку буде абсолютно так же.
Просто ми у Німеччині можемо у маленькому містечку зібрати більше людей, ніж у Києві, на жаль. Тому, будь ласка, розкажіть своїм друзям про нас. Ми з радістю приїдемо зіграти до вас.
Так. Якщо нас позвуть, якщо нас не питатимуть, хто ми. З якого району?
It was some minutes of Ukrainian language again, and it's actually really pleasant to finally see more people from Ukraine in our chats.
Actually,
because again, most of our audience is abroad, and this is what we were also talking about in Ukrainian. Do you think to come to Italy in the future? Yes, we would love to come back. We actually only played once in Italy, in Milano. Yeah, so we would love to come back.
Yeah. Do something a cappella live now, please.
No, I'm too shy about it.
She's too shy, honestly. That is not...
You know, even sometimes for me, it's easier to roll, for example, not when I'm alone or anything, but when we are playing together, like, or on stage or on rehearsal. It's like, gives you some drive, you know?
Yeah. I hope that YouTube doesn't, like, recognize all that we say here, like the audio of our speech, and doesn't ban me from jesteście zajebiście. So people from Poland says that jesteś zajebista.
Thank you. How do you call it?
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję. I will learn it. I'm like, the deal is I'm starting Polish on Duolingo today.
Okay.
Because
today.
Today.
He'll
be watching.
I'm watching you. I think
that's not it.
Just about that. Yeah. Oh.
I'm curious what's the meaning behind the song, What For? I also love the cover of Uitokune. Thank you. What's For? Like, if you take the album The Realms of Fire and Death, it has a lot of stories behind the songs. Each 3 songs, they form one story. And I even made like a small book of short stories to come along with this album. We had it in printed formats for quite a while. It was sold out. And it's still available. If you join our Patreon, you can get it. I mean, it's the PDF version of it. And what for is like a part of the cycle where a guy, he goes mad and jumps into the fire, like for many reasons, like in the stories. And he was a king, and his sister is mourning for him, and she's singing this song "What's for him" because she doesn't know why he did it. In a nutshell, because there is quite a longer story to that.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Bayraktar song?
I think we have too many of them. To be honest,
I think that there can be already a compilation of Ukrainian songs about Bayraktars.
Yeah, Bayraktar. I think that is one we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean,
that one is catchy. Yeah.
This, like, it's the first time in our lives that we're in the middle of a full-scale war. And we also learned quite a lot of things. Some things among of them are that memes and jokes and songs and whatever, like, artistic, cultural things, they really help to move on and to cope with all the situation. And it also helps our soldiers. They talk about it all the time. It helps to keep the attention of the Western world on Ukraine. So we really need all these things. Right?
Yeah. I just thought about the song called Shove Bratya because it's like a super hit, but you only would get it if you're Ukrainian. So yeah, I think there's no even point in posting a link to it.
It just raises, the mood and raises the energy to fight, motivation to fight.
Lubicie grać w gry komputerowe lub konsolowe? Jakie są wasze ulubione? Minecraft. I actually play Minecraft right now.
It's the only game he's playing.
Yeah, honestly, like once a year I start playing that for a couple of weeks and then forget about it again for a year or something. So yeah, right now I'm playing Minecraft and that's it. Yeah. What do you listen to yourself? Music probably is a great guess, but
I also listen to a lot of podcasts, actually. I'm a fan of this format. And if you take music-wise, we both listen to a lot of different genres. So it's not always metal. I would say that metal is like 20% of what I'm listening to. And actually, one of my dear friends, Divoar from Ukrainian band Svinter, he was trying to hop me on Swans, the band, the artist. And finally today I started listening to Swans and I really like it. So yeah, it's just what I was listening to today. I don't know. I finally bought my first vinyl record of Radiohead. It's one of my favorite bands. And I finally started collecting vinyls of it. Speaking of which, we finally received our vinyl copies of The Realms of Fire and Death and of Bestia and the huge vinyl box set of The Realms of Fire and Death. You can still get them, but they are slowly running out of stock. So check them out if you're a vinyl collector. At this point, nearly all our records are on vinyl, available in the store.
Плануєте колись переспівати свої пісні українською? Я думаю, що Віталій пропустив відповідь. Ні, не плануємо, тому що that doesn't make sense. Ці пісні, вони завжди задумувалися як англомовні, а є пісні, які одразу задумувалися як українські, і вони будуть ще випущені, будуть ще українською мовою пісні. Тому краще чекати на них, ніж повертатися до, я не знаю, перероблювання того, що вже готово.
Я не знаю, I don't know how to read it, but I think that it means that you speak Polish sweetly, well, good.
Świetnie.
What does it mean?
Да хуя. No, I don't speak good in Polish. I read Polish good because it's,
But it's really easy for us to understand it. Like you can get the idea of what the person is talking about when you listen to it. But to speak it, it's more complicated task.
Where is it?
Again in Polish. You go.
Jakie nowe zespoły metalowe zrobiły na was wrażenie? Nowe. That's a nice question because lots of people often mix up new and newly discovered for them, and that is why you're not able to call new bands that have. Where's our vinyls?
But
for me, it's probably the Danish death metal band called Best.
The Danish death metal scene, or the Danish metal scene, because he's a fan of a lot of bands from Denmark.
I'm a fan of everything Danish, probably, except the language.
Yeah, we even like...
Also Danish black metal band called Afsku.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's really
you also like it. Yeah, I know, the newly discovered band, but not a new band. Again, a Danish one called Vola. Is good.
I wouldn't call it metal, really. It's like
progressive metal. It's like a new stage, new.
It's really too easy sounding. It's more like a progressive rock band to me personally.
We
saw them live. They're great. I love the records. We have the vinyls. Check them out.
Yeah, actually, we have to collect our vinyls back from Dmitry, the guitar player.
Yes.
He has our Vola vinyls. What's your opinion on Zelensky? Never heard a Ukrainian opinion about him, only Germans which are against him. We are actually surprisingly good about him after the full-scale invasion started.
Yeah, because before we didn't vote for him, and he did a lot of strange, non-logical things, and we didn't perceive him as a president for a long time.
But now he's holding up good.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not perfect, just like any other politician, and he's not working alone. He's working with his team and the government and the parliament, but under the circumstances, he really has been doing well, and we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Do you also speak German, or do you understand German? The German are here.
Ja, ich spreche Deutsch ein bisschen, aber okay, it's a problem for me now. It's a problem. You know why? I've been living in Germany for 1 year, and my German was like pretty much upper intermediate. The problem is I started learning Norwegian language in Duolingo and through some, online stuff. In my head, German and Norwegian are so mixed now that I cannot speak German normally because I start putting Norwegian words into it.
Yeah. So the same goes for me and Dutch.
It's insane. It's impossible. I mean, Norwegian for me is like a mixture of German and English just because I learned them first. So I need to get back with my German before we get some German club shows again. I'm very sad about it.
Wie wär's denn mit uns? Okay. Didn't sound as bad as some of the native German speakers.
Yeah, but I couldn't finish the language because instead of aber, I started saying men, which is aber in Norwegian. It's just a mix.
Yeah, you can say you were trying to speaking, I don't know, Schweizerdeutsch or Austrian German.
No, it's it's like maybe, living in the very north of Germany and having a
Holstein.
I was living in Rostock, actually, so it was not that far away from
Sweden.
Denmark.
No, it's too far
there
away.
There was a ferry to Denmark and to Sweden.
I know, but it's a long one. I mean, if that would be Kiel or Flensburg.
Well, sorry. I had
Flensburg.
Mecklenburg-Vorpommern.
Holstein. Yeah. What does Igna mean, or is it just a name? It means a woman of fire in Latin.
Flaming, burning.
Flaming, burning. It actually in flames, but like if you're speaking about a girl, because
never thought about this explanation.
If you speak about a guy, that would sound Ignos. Yeah. Are you fans of YouTube reactors when they react to your music? I don't like the genre at all. Like
I just don't get like the meaning of seeing how people react. At the same time, I understand the impact that they are making on the music industry, and sometimes when a reactor with many followers reacts to your music, it can really make a big push. So I'm grateful to YouTube reactors who do it, but I won't be watching it myself. Like, not only reacting to our music, but also reacting to music of other bands. I just don't like. The same as like, I don't play video games, and I really don't understand when people watch others
that I like.
play.
That I like, yeah.
It's just not for me.
Yeah, actually, I would really love, given my nature, I would really love reaction videos to music where people are not, oh my god, super excited about everything, because I think that is, I might be wrong, but for me that looks like a part of American culture to be excited about everything.
And but not all YouTube reactors are excited.
I would love to see a guy who turns on like a big, huge band and says, that is shit, that already happened. Like, do something new, kick your ass and stand up and compose a new proper music. You already did that. Like, why would you even listen to the last Nightwish album? No, never.
I think you should start a YouTube reaction channel, and then we will be cancelled in this music industry.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is why I don't do that. Probably, yeah. What does Alga mean? Alga means, it's basically a battle cry in Crimean Tatar language. Well, most of Turkic languages, to be exactly correct. So that's like hooray or yeet or whatever you may shout running around with an axe or something like that. Yeah.
In the song Alga, there is an extra guitarist in the video. Was he part of the band or just a fill-in? Yes, back in the days he was a part of the band, but yeah, for some personal reasons, we parted ways with him, and actually then we realized that we don't really need another guitarist.
Yeah,
That's why, and again, having 5 people in the band is already quite a lot when it comes to all the logistics and plays on stage sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So having a 6 person, you know, we're really good. Like, the lineup that we have right now, we've had it since 2014,
probably? 15, something like that, yeah.
So it's, you know, we worked with it through years and it works good. So we don't really see any lineup changes happening in the nearest future, unless any of people would love to leave on their own, you know.
You don't like Nightwish? I actually love Nightwish, but not the last couple things they did. For me personally, Once and Dark Passion Play are the best, one of the best, like 2 of the best top 50 albums, metal albums in the whole history. So
for me, it's like I love Imaginarium and Dark Passion.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, I like rediscovered Nightwish for me a couple of months ago, and it brought me to the conclusion that musically, Once is the best album of Nightwish for me, for my liking. Although I don't like Tarja's vocals, I hate operatic vocals in metal. For me, they don't work well together. But once is a good one. I love it absolutely. Hey, we need to update our tech writer. Yes, we do. Actually, yes.
You can actually see our live sound.
Front of house engineer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eugene.
Hello.
Hey.
I mean,
What?
Hell is going to outside of Ukraine because
To Poland, by the way.
She's a girl and she's allowed to. And she brings back some new equipment, and then we do an update to our tech writer. And
I will bring something that you cannot buy in Ukraine at this point, and we will make some upgrade with our stage gear, and we will update our technical writer.
Yeah, and it would be neat. Yeah. I find that having two guitarists pushes the bass guitarist into the background a lot of times. Yeah, bass guitarist and the keyboards guy. So yeah, cut out the second guitarist. One is enough. Yeah.
I think that it really depends on your music, because there is like more guitar-oriented metal where you have, tons of guitar solos and everything. And for example, you don't have a keyboardist or a lot of playbacks. Then two guitarists, they make sense. But when you have a music that has a lot of orchestral arrangements, electronic stuff, traditional folk instruments, then you have, a keyboardist, then having two guitarists. I mean, there won't be any decent work for one of them at some point.
Yeah. Right. You have started to read something. Just, yeah.
Kaffee.
Nice idea.
And again, I want to speak in German, and all I can say, jeg liker kaffe in Norwegian. I'm sorry, it's impossible.
Well, yeah, the Dutch people would be like, lekker?
Lekker?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Kaffe
is lekker. Yeah.
Did you know that hella means in Finnish outside temperature of over 25 degrees?
It's absolutely not about me, because when the temperature is more than 20 degrees, I'm done. I just cannot survive the heat. So when the war is over, I really hope that during summer I will be able to move somewhere north and just stay there, as in colder places.
Yeah, and outside temperature, outside is very important word, because otherwise you would have helle in every sound out there, right? Yeah.
Where are the other band members at the moment? Probably at their homes?
Yeah. Everyone's... The cat is moving. Okay.
I think that we should be wrapping up the stream, because our cat is awake now.
And I'm hungry now.
And the cat is also hungry.
Oh yeah, you could see that on him. Yeah. Welcome to Sweden, Hel.
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please. We were in Sweden for the last
November.
November. That was in November.
That was in November.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was in November.
That feels like half a century ago.
Yeah, because like every day in this war, it feels like several years, Yeah. It's been only 4 months, but for us, it's like ages.
Yeah. And I think
it's still not over.
If not for the war, we would already visit Denmark and South Sweden. I mean, at least Skåne.
And also Finland.
And
because we were supposed to play the shows there. And also Norway. And also Switzerland. So I think that we should be really wrapping it up. This stream is going to be saved. You will be able to rewatch it if you joined us later. I would love to say once again thank you to all our patrons who have been supporting us, and I invite everyone to join it. It's really a very cool place, and also I really encourage you to join tomorrow, because Patreon charges fees on the first day of each month. So you're going to have 30 days ahead of you. And also we're going to give away some props from our video Magoras last case among all our patrons. So makes sense to join next month and also see how we're preparing for tours. You will also see a lot of vlogs there. Check out our website, ignea.band. Subscribe to our newsletter because we're going to get some updates about live shows very soon. Check out our merch because part from all merch sales goes to support Ukrainian volunteers, charities, the army, and also us, band members.
Especially the best player now.
Yeah. And what else? Just don't forget that the war is still happening in Ukraine. And we also understand that you have to leave your lives, your normal lives, but just take 10-15 minutes of your day to check out the news, to donate several dollars, to a trusted Ukrainian charity, or listen to Ukrainian artists that you like, because it all helps us to move on.
Yeah. So thank you for coming along, everyone. 853 people saw us. Oh my God, I'm a superstar. Was really great to see everyone, to have a chat.
Thank you for your questions. And we will probably do it again at some time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye.